Welcome to the first repair video. This is a Pokemon card, and the Pokemon card is bent, and we are sad. Sedge, one of my awesome followers, submitted that he has a Galarian Ponyta right here, and it is bent just like this. It's got a massive, looks like one of his kids took it out of the binder and just ripped it out or something like that. So I'm going to teach you how to get this thing flat again. And this will work with pretty much any card, not just a holo. But anytime you're working on a card, try to find a cheaper card, a base set card of it, that is the same sort of style. So whether it's a reverse holo, whether it's a holo, or whether it's just a normal paper card, grab one that's cheaper and try it on that first before you attempt to do it on your expensive cards. That Ninetales. Still thinking about her. So the first thing you're going to want to get is a Scott humidifier. Pretty much any humidifier will do, but this one has that transparent box to it so you can keep an eye on your card while it's in there. So the tools you'll need for this fix for flattening any card is a humidifier and vice grips. Irwin Quick Grip is what I've used, and you want these ones here, these long ones here that you can squeeze and then they pop open like that. But these ones are the best. I have a bunch of different ones just because I tested different ones, but that one worked the best for me. And finally, you're gonna need 2 acrylic pieces of glass. All of this stuff you can pick up on Amazon. With the humidifier, we're gonna wanna get this thing to say 70% humidity in there. In order to do that, we're going to need to put some distilled or bottled water into the bar that comes with the humidifier back here. So this black bar back here is where we're gonna be putting the water. And then I'll just put a couple drops. You don't wanna flood this thing. You just wanna put 1 drop in every other slit here. Close that up and let that sit until it hits 70 or above, and then we're gonna put the card in. So it's hit 70, it took about 15 minutes or so. It may take longer, just keep adding a little bit of water and be patient there. That 70 to 80% mark is usually good. I modified my humidifier by putting a couple of penny sleeves at the bottom so the card doesn't scratch up against the wood that comes with it. I did keep the wood in there just because that's what I've seen other people do, so I'm not sure if taking that out. I think it just holds the humidity a little bit better with that little piece of wood down there. It's like cigar wood. Anyway, so now it's time to put the card into the humidifier. We're going to take the card raw, take it out of the penny sleeve or whatever, open it up, and plop it right down there in the middle. You can do a couple of cards at the same time if you want to. It's totally up to you. One's probably better if you really want it to absorb the moisture. Really all this is doing is the card itself, it's made of cardboard, right? So it's absorbing the moisture. We want to leave it in here for, I don't know, about 5-10 minutes. You really want it to absorb that moisture, and it's going to take some time to do that. I wouldn't leave it in here any longer than 30 minutes to an hour. It'll start to taco on you and create like a U shape. Even if it does do that though, it's not the end of the world. I have forgotten cards in here and came back and still have restored them. You just won't want to over humidify it. So let's let it sit in here and then we'll show you the next step. All right, the card's been in there for some while now. The humidity will probably drop after a while of it sitting in there. Let's pluck the card out and we're gonna put it straight into a penny sleeve. You can use 2 oversized penny sleeves for this step. I'm gonna show you next with the vise, but I typically just use a normal penny sleeve. So we'll put it in there and then I'll show you the next step here. All right, so we've got our penny sleeved card here. You can use oversized penny sleeves underneath. Put the card on raw and then put another penny sleeve on top. I've typically just put the card in a penny sleeve, but I've seen that being also another way of doing this. Put your other piece of acrylic on top, And wherever it's bent the most, whatever you're trying to target, that's usually where I'll try to get that vise on that part specifically. So that top there, just gonna squash that down. Get down those vise grips as much as you can, and then just leave it in this for like 8 hours a day. Doesn't really matter, but you may need 2 or 3 sessions in the humidifier, then back in here for it to really regain its memory as a flat card. So I'm gonna pluck this out tomorrow. I'm gonna show you what one session looks like. Hopefully this card will be completely back to normal. We'll see. I'll show you a couple more things I do post the whole flattening process here with the vice grips. But all in all, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you could do me a favor, hit the like button or whatever the heck it is in Instagram or wherever YouTube, I might be uploading this there too. Shoot this off to a friend. Share it with somebody who's got some damaged cards that you think that they would benefit from this. And most of all, tell me what you want to hear next. What other sorts of fixes you want to hear. There's a couple of more videos people have sent me of their cards that I still need to go through. I'm going to be covering probably dents, dings, things like that. But there's other things such as using the polish for getting rid of minor scratches and things like that that we'll go through later. But just let me know what you would like to hear about most in the next video. And the final thought here too, some people may consider this altering. I don't see it that way. You're not changing the card in any way other than just literally what it is. I could see trimming a card is literally changing a card, which I can see PSA kicking that back. But how the fuck do they know whether you've had this stupid bitch in there for 86 hours or not? They don't. So when it comes down to it, who cares if it's altering or not? Because at the end of the day, this thing being a 10 versus being a 5 because you didn't know a way to get this thing flat, it's gonna be a big difference in money at the end of the day when it comes to grading these cards. And I tell you, some of my personal cards that I had as a child that I wanted to keep, they had some issues. And fixing them and bringing them a little bit more to life just brings me a little bit more joy knowing they're in a higher grade slab. So for my kids or whoever else inherits it, yeah. So anyway, I'll catch you at the next one. Ciao.